All right, guys. So in this lecture, we're going to talk about planning for management groups. So the question that you may have, what is planning for management group in Azure? Well, management groups are containers that help you manage access, policy, and compliance across multiple subscriptions. Create these containers to build an effective and efficient hierarchy that can be used with Azure Policy and Azure Role Access Based Control, which is RBAC. RBAC. See if we draw that here. RBAC. So, what are the different levels of management group in Azure? Well, Azure provide 4 levels of management group. Management group of management, not management group. Management groups, subscription, the second one, resource group, the third one, and resources, the fourth one. So in this diagram, it shows the relationship between these levels. Management groups help you manage access, policy, and compliance for multiple subscriptions. So the question that you may have, what is the difference between management group and resource group in Azure? Well, management group contains one or more subscriptions inside of subscription or resource groups. Resource group belong to exactly one subscription. So a subscription can have many resource groups, but a resource group may belong to only one subscription. Now, why do we need management group in Azure? Azure Management Group support Azure role-based access. Azure RBAC, which stands for Resources Role-based Access. For all resources accesses role definitions, these permissions are inherent to child resources that exist in the hierarchy. Any Azure role can be assigned to a management group that will inherit down to the hierarchy to the resources. Now, what is a role group in Azure? What is a role management group in Azure? I mean, group managers serves in a leadership role heading to a team or division. They are responsible for a wide range of administration level tasks and oversee all aspects of daily operation. They develop strategic plan, take an active role in major operational decision and drive growth and development effort. Now, pertaining to planning for management group, we play for management groups. It is important to keep the purpose of the management group in mind with management group like MOM, Marketing Management Group, under here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Up. Just make this a little bit bigger. Under here. So management group, here under this management group, I have two subscription. There go. Free trial subscription 1, free trial subscription 2. When I assign roles using role-based access control, I can assign roles at a resource level, at a resource group level, at a subscription level. I can also assign at the management group level. So if I have a group of administrators that need some level of access to both of the subscription here, I can assign my role at the management group level. That will be a possibility if I have another subscription here under the IT management group. Grab this here, bang, 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 under this IT management group. Maybe I have a few subscriptions under that. Then I could assign my role at this management group level, and now it will apply to those 3 subscriptions. And now you can only manage resource under that one subscription. We also have the root management group here. If a role is assigned at this level, it just inherits to all the management groups and just keep inheriting. So ultimately, every subscription within our environment will inherit from that root management group. Just down to the hierarchy, we want to keep management group hierarchy reasonably flat, meaning I need a justification for each management group that I actually create. Maybe I don't need a marketing management group in my environment. It depends exactly what your administrative needs are. Is there going to be a benefit to me assigning a role at this level that applies to these 2 subscriptions? Maybe you have some resource under the 2 subscriptions that you should be managed together. If that's true, then maybe it makes sense to have that under management group. Now consider top level management group. Consider top level management group. It will really, any management group that has a management below. Now, you can look at this and say the root management group is the top level. Well, we will always call that the rule. I didn't exist by default. A top level management group will be in the example, this article, because it has a management group under its author referred to a child, sometimes a subgroup. So, um, so we, so, but this would be considered a top level. Any roles that are defined at this level now inherit down to production and any subscription under that production. Some design consideration consider an organizational or department structure. Different organization within your environment that may be a solution if you have a different departments. Maybe different departments have their own subscription and they are going to be managed independently. Management group per department, much of this is similar concept that you would use if you were designing an organizational unit structure in your on-premises environment. For those who have a background with on-prem, Active Directory domain services is very similar to in many respects. Consider a geographical structure if you are an international company. Maybe your management group structure is tied to a geographic region that you have around the world. Consider production management group. So maybe I have a production management group and then we have a test staff management group and we have corresponding subscription associated with the appropriate management group. So I can consider a sandbox management group that will be like a test or something. Just isolate where we can test certain things out, and then we have no impact in our production environment. So consider isolating. So you already touched this, touch that, touching this, touching this. So now we're down to here. Consider isolating sensitive information and to a separate management group. Well, the benefit to this is to just have a higher level of security. We could be more restricted with roles we assign to that management group itself, which would apply to the subscription here, under here. The most important takeaway to this, and speaking to me personally, guys, so question, why am I so interested in the designing issue? Well, there is no right or wrong answer to many of these. You just work through this based on your needs, and it's more culminative to me of all these things will lead you to the management group structure that you have. But it is never a black and white or good and bad. It's all based, say, for instance, what is the scenario? Say, for instance, if you need 3 management groups, in this scenario, you may need 5. So what it is truly a combination of all these things that will lead you to an appropriate design within your environment. Thank you so very much, guys. I appreciate you guys was following along with me in this lecture. See you back in the next lecture.